Okay, so full disclosure for everyone watching, because I want to be present with Tiff, I did go sub-only chat on my chat, so I might still get a little distracted with the chat, but
No, that's
it will help. So I'm just so happy to finally be here with you. Like I was reflecting on what happened, like how you had thought of all these really nice questions for me, and like we were chatting on my live, and this is when 1,000 people plus would be on my live, and I had like 1,000 subscribers, and things were crazy, and the harassment was really high still, and I think the subs were pretty just protective.
yeah.
And I mentioned that you were going to interview me, and people like immediately went to your page.
It's like making me hot just thinking about it.
Stalked you, like not they did, like they went, and you had made some like comment of like Kendra is going to be researched in history books or something like that, or in psychology books. Like it was a pretty neutral video, but people were like, and it just wasn't meant to be. And I felt weird and you felt weird. It was just like a weird situation.
I know.
But you and I just agreed. We were like, okay, let's just keep in touch. And here we are.
And that was that. And I think I honestly feel like that was a challenge for me, because I told you when we were first voice memoing that sometimes I talk and it doesn't come out right, which is why I choose to like talk slower in my lives. I stutter a lot, all those things. And I had even told you that sometimes my jokes don't mesh with everybody. I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up with
Jersey girl.
We're kind of rough. We make fun of each other. And so sometimes my jokes are a little bit more dark humor. So I was like, hey, if I ever hurt your feelings, tell me, because I would, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that circumstance was such an eye-opener that you don't always get a chance to explain your thoughts on what you meant. Yeah. But you gave me that opportunity. And you were uncomfortable because you had all these chats. Like, why?
And it was a subscriber only chat. And people like just popped off about you. And I was like, okay. And here's what's funny, Tiff, is so many people make up things about me. Like, or say that I'm making things up and do all of these things. And it kind of is what happened to you a little bit. Like, I think that people just projected. And don't get me wrong, like, I forget if it was before or after you, like, the Legally Alley thing had just happened.
No, I didn't know anything about that. I don't think that existed yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But it doesn't matter. Like, they were being protective of me for good reason. Right. But the reality is it just wasn't the right time.
Right.
And so here we are now. And I don't think it was personal. I certainly didn't take it that way. Just the vibes were off. Okay, so Sass says it was just after the Legally Alley thing.
Oh. So I'm not totally sure. Oh, did she go on and say, I don't know, but I think you trusted her and then she said not so nice things, maybe?
What happened is that I decided that I wasn't going to talk about, whatever anymore, like completely. And so, because remember, you and I were going to do an interview about the situation, but then I came to you and I said, I'm not talking about him anymore.
Right.
And you were like, okay, well, let's pivot. And then I sent the same thing to Allie, and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I know that I said I was going to come on your live, but I really need to take a break from talking about what I'm talking about because it's causing me harm. And I really apologize for the short notice. I told you as soon as I made up my mind. Like, I sent her a very kind and very respectful message, and she made a post and dogged me. Like, dogged me and just said that I was psychotic and, all the talking points and like,
She's a lawyer. We don't have to go into this if you don't want to, but I am slightly lost. I don't really remember. I remember the name being discussed, but I don't think I was following it closely. Oh, wait.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it was just like a little blip in the craziness. Okay. It was a blip. And so that, like, I think that she had just posted her video, like, just saying, Kendra, I was going to have her on my live and she backed out, and like so unprofessional. And then she showed like my professional message, and yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you my thoughts on you?
Yeah.
Okay. I adore you. I can see that there are people who are going to say those things. She's psychotic. She has this. She has that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm missing something, but I think you are so articulate. You're so funny.
Thank you.
I know some people are going to take this the wrong way. Women don't often make me laugh. You don't even try. And I'm watching your live like this sometimes, and I'm like, what? Like, and you're not trying. It's just your person. And I don't mean like, haha, I'm laughing at you.
People say that.
You're so funny. I love your personality. And nobody has a right. I mean, okay. So mental health is really important to me. I feel somewhat well-versed in it, but who really is well-versed in mental health? It's so complex.
Sure.
My point is, there are some times when there's a telltale sign, majorly so, that someone is not right.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot for me to feel that way about someone. Otherwise, usually my approach is context matters. And me and my context with you is, you could have shat all over me in that live, and I would have been sad about it, and I would have been uncomfortable about it. You didn't. You said, Tiff, let's talk. And then we spoke, and it was respectful, and you were open and honest. And if you don't want to talk about a situation that is personal and brought you a lot of joy, but also brought you a lot of turmoil, you don't have to.
Right.
Even if there was contracts are different, but even if there was an exchange of like, I'm going to pay you or this or that, it's still a mental health thing. This is not like, hey, I'm going to go on because I told you I'm going to advertise your makeup business and then you bailed out. No, you offered to talk about your situation that you don't always have to be wanting to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say, telling my story, I don't know if it brought me joy, but it certainly brought me relief. It brought me, I guess what brought me joy about telling my story is knowing that I was helping others.
Yeah.
Like getting the DMs that I would get every day of like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing your story. So like that part brought me joy, but it got to a point where it brought me more turmoil than positive, and that's when I knew I had to pause. And so I just knew I had to like not do anything with it. And right, it is my my right. It's my story. And so all I have to say, Tiff, like definitely we were equally mortified at that moment. We were both like, what just happened? But thank you for saying that I'm articulate, because
You are, yeah.
like, so I did an interview with Betches Media with I guess she was a freelance writer for Betches. She's in New York City. She does like freelance for a lot of different news organizations, but she was writing a piece specifically for Betches about the long form storytelling.
Okay.
And I told her, because at this point I had gotten a lot of harassment. It was like after like the big time harassment, and I was like, yeah, I guess my story's kind of like I'm like an unreliable narrator because that's what I heard over and over and over again. She's an unreliable narrator. And so I just kind of started like taking that to heart. And this journalist who's successful in New York City was like, I don't think that at all. I think you're a great storyteller. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the articulate compliment so much because I really at that point thought that I sucked at telling stories because everyone had told me that.
Yeah, it's easy to gaslight yourself if everybody else is, I don't want to use the term for like, loosely, but it's easy. Well, it's certainly easy to gaslight yourself, but especially if everyone is telling you that you are delusional.
Yeah.
You are not right up here.
Right.
You are.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
No, go for it.
Something about me, Tiff, is I don't know if you have ADHD, but I was talking to Sass about this earlier because we interrupt each other a lot when we're on the phone.
Yeah.
And like, it's part of my brain. I just get really excited and I have to
not
speak.
offended. I'm
Okay.
not, I really understand it. I got diagnosed with ADD because at the time they weren't using ADHD anymore.
Right.
And also I'm the type of ADD that's like, it's so busy up here that I'm always tired. So there's nothing hyper about me.
Yes. Okay, but I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got excited.
Okay.
I forgot what I was saying, but
I had a question. Is Betches a larger, like, can you tell me what that is?
it's a very large like media organization. It started just as an Instagram page,
Okay.
but now it's like a multi-million-dollar media organization.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
exciting.
I think it's got like millions of followers on Instagram and TikTok, and they do like lots of
That
different
might be
things.
something I know the logo, but just didn't
Yeah.
know the name. But
Yeah.
no, I want to say thank you because that was not a great moment for me to be so misunderstood. Like, it's one thing if I wanted to hurt your feelings, then I could just stand on business and be like, well, I think she's this, so
Like Legally Alley. That's exactly what happened with Legally
Yeah.
Alley.
But the thing is, because I didn't mean that, I really struggled with it because
Of course.
if I don't want to hurt someone, I just simply don't want to hurt someone. And you could have very easily went with all of your supporters because you know that the majority of them have your best intentions at heart. But you were just so mature and kind and open-minded, and that's not easy to come by. That's why I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I'm missing, but I think you're amazing. So
Thank you so much. And
that.
so I just appreciate you so much, Tiff. And it's funny because Sass and I were talking and she was like, hey, do you still chat with Tiff? And I was like, yeah, I do. And Sass was like, you know what? I think it's been long enough. Like, why don't you reach out to her and say that you're ready to go live? I'm like, Sass, that's a good idea. And I know. And so that's why I was like, hey, I know she is a queen. And the next day I went to my P.O. box and I saw that you had gifted me. I got your gift. Like, you guys, it's so Tiff got me these beautiful earrings and then wrote the kindest note.
No, I'm
like,
an ass, right?
yes. And
But I legitimately was thinking of you because we were chatting while I was in Bosnia.
yeah. No, it just seemed so like heartfelt. And it to me, it was like such a, one of my clients calls it a God wink of like, yeah, I invited you. And then when I checked my P.O. box and for you to had gifted me those, I'm like, yeah, Tiff is the real deal.
Okay, so you invited me and then you got them the next day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can I tell you something even stranger?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not joking. A half hour before I saw your message at least. I was this close to reaching out to you to say like, let's just do this. But I didn't because I'm not the one who felt you. it looked as if I was wronging you. So I wanted you to be comfortable and come to me. And it was a half hour later you messaged me. So when I saw that, I was like, what? And not to mention the night that that all went down. And I told you, hey, I think I told you I'm gonna log off because I felt like you needed your privacy. But then I saw the screen recordings. Yes, I did.
Of course, because that was a very, very charged night. I'm sure people clipped it.
I couldn't help but watch what happened afterwards.
Of course.
And you pulled out the tarot cards. And I was in bed when this happened because it's the time zones are different. I was getting out of bed and pulling a tarot card because at first you and I were both like, no, we're gonna go for it. So I was about to pull out the tarot cards because I was like, I don't know if this is right or not. And then I saw that you had pulled it out, the tarot deck. So I don't know. There's just like a lot of.
Do you remember what card I pulled?
Patience.
Like, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. The cards don't lie.
No, they don't. If you have good intentions, they don't lie. I mean, that's my opinion anyway.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm gonna go live with Energy Witch at the end of the week, Friday at 11:30 Pacific, for anyone who wants to join. But and she is a professional tarot reader, and she told me, like, she was there when I pulled, and we were all vibing on the live like last week, and all of a sudden I pulled the Devil card. Like, that was actually my first pull.
Okay.
And I didn't really know what it meant, but I was like, let me pull another card to see what it means. And it was the moon. And Brittany was like, Energy Witch was off like texting me about it. And she was like, the moon means hidden enemies. Because I was like, you guys, I think that this is about the people that clip my lives. And, make me...
Fair.
Yeah. So I just thought that was fun. Because so many people, like... Not so many people, but there are a few tarot girlies that don't have the nicest things to say about me. They don't think it's like responsible for me to pull tarot, but I don't even know what that means. Like, I just dabble in it. And I think like tarot's for anyone. So all that to say, Energy Witch was like, I thought you did awesome. Like, the cards were spot on. It's just about learning what they mean. I'm like, yeah, and that's what I'm doing. And she had a great point. And I don't know if you have a deck like this. I still think about your doodle deck. Is that what it's called? Yeah, grab it. I just loved that you showed it to me. And so she said for beginner tarot readers, because I've told people this on my lives, that for the first 10 years I played with oracle cards.
Yeah.
Right? Or like used oracle cards and got really comfortable doing that. So now I'm learning what each... Yes! Look at how cute that is!
Do you want me to show it while you're talking or wait?
Yeah. Do that. And so she suggested for beginner tarot readers to get a deck with words on it. So cute.
It's like all composition notebooks.
Oh my gosh, it's
you
so
gotta
cute.
order it from her website because it's an independent, from my understanding, it's an independent artist. It's been copied 100 times, which would really suck, if you're the one that made it. So you gotta go to her website apparently. And yes, it's all different doodles. Sorry, I'm just gonna show.
Okay, so it has words on it.
Oh, it sure does for reverse.
Yes,
right?
So that would be a great deck for me.
It's this cardstock
cute.
is thick. Look at the 5 of Wands, all the angry doodles.
That is so cute.
So, yeah, I super duper recommend it.
What's the name of the artist?
It is K. So it's MK. So it's EM space KAY.
MK Holloway.
The only caveat is that the cardstock, she did not skimp out on cardstock. These are thick. So
Okay, so it's not a travel deck.
I mean, it could be. I'm just saying if you like to do all the like proper shuffling, it's a little bit more difficult. But if you're cool with just doing like one of these types of things, like, I mean, that's even a little bit more, these are thick boys.
Oh, I like it. I like a
Worth it.
substantial deck.
So worth it.
Let me just take a moment. KJ says hi. Hi, KJ. And then Talia, I don't know why you're Talia says batty batty. Talia's my Kiwi super fan.
What does that mean?
She lives in New Zealand. And that's like shorthand for New Zealanders or Kiwis.
Really?
Yeah, because Kiwis, so in the summer, Kiwis come from New Zealand, and in the winter, Kiwis come from Italy. I could be getting those mixed up. Talia, let me know in the comments, but yeah.
Dang, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you my opinion on the tarot thing, which if they dislike your use of tarot, I guess they'll dislike mine too. I started tarot like maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I made it there was, I don't want to like take too long on the story, but there was like a random calling to it. I was just like, I woke up one morning, I was like, you need to do tarot. I asked my dad to gift it to me, which is kind of cheating because some people believe you're not allowed to buy your first deck.
Yeah.
Dad buys me a dragon tarot deck that I was so in love with, so attached to, still am. But so I started going live. And I just made it known that I am learning. So I'm going to pull cards with the best intentions that I possibly can for the person I'm reading for. But I'm going to read from the book because I am learning. And if you're okay with that and that feels right to you and you want to participate, then please do, and I'll pull a card for you. But if that doesn't feel right to you, then please do not, don't be involved. And I think it's as simple as that. You're just exploring something and you're being honest. What I think is wicked about it, potentially, is say you ask me a yes or no, and you say, am I going to get this job by January? I flip a card, it says no, but I want to make you happy, so I say, oh, it means yes.
Right.
That is wrong. You don't have good intentions. You should put the deck down. But otherwise, I don't think it's wrong.
No, exactly. And Sass says it all the time. Like, she just commented, like, it's recreational tarot. Who hasn't dabbled for giggles at one point in the girly life experience?
Oh, well, to be fair, I certainly was. Now I don't have the time to do it, but I was taking donations. I'm careful about what I say.
Sure.
I don't want to come off as if I was like lying about that. When I started, though, I was not. And that's almost like, to me, that's like, I have to think about the words that I say. It's almost like you wanting to explore the Bible and you're reading passages and books and chapters on live, and someone telling you can't do that because you just started it and you're new and you don't know what you're talking about. I don't think that's fair either.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Just thinking out loud.
It's not. Yes, no. It's true. And Sarah's like, yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. I think that that's a great example of like manipulating what they mean. But it's funny because part of what people say about me is that I go to the guidebook and I'm like, so it's kind of hard to like manipulate what it means. And really, I just pull for myself when I'm on live. Sometimes people will ask me to pull for them and I usually don't. There was one really special sub-only live that I had where I pulled some cards for my subs that wanted to come on and asked me to pull a card, like invited me to. But I'm just like, that was a one-off thing. That was a really special sub-only live. And they would come on as guests, and yeah, that was sweet. But like, I don't know. I think that, what do I think? People are going to have opinions. And I get to consider the source of what, like, who that opinion is from. Like I said, I had taken on all of these people saying that I'm an unreliable narrator, but here's a journalist who lives in New York City and is a full-time journalist telling me that I'm a good storyteller. I was like, oh, that's who I'm going to listen to. Like, that's, or, Energy Witch, who, like, does tarot professionally and has for years, like, saying, oh yeah, your cards are good, don't listen. What did she say? She was like, sometimes us girls in the tarot community can be mean and catty.
Oh, for
which
sure.
is, yeah. And I guess that's in any community, right?
That's right. That's what I was going to say. I just saw this woman, she's making soap, and it's so relaxing. I watch her make soap. And she had to defend herself because she uses pre-made soap and then adds scents, and she decorates it and designs it.
Sounds pretty.
And she felt the need, she had to explain herself because she was getting harassed by the soap community. She's not a real soap maker. So no matter what,
not the soap community.
the soap
Like, you can't make this up. The soap community.
I didn't know it was a thing. But it hurt my heart for her because I'm like, they're not letting her into the soap community. Why are they doing this to her? She doesn't deserve that.
Yeah. Talia said soap community is sending me. And JJ is saying the soap police with the police emoji and the soap emoji. And Sarah says,
I'm curious too. I'm like, well, it's a thing, the soap community, or if you're a florist, you're
right.
not a florist the correct way. You call yourself a makeup artist while you're not doing makeup right. You
totally.
It's just never ending. And I think when you realize that there's no winning, that's when you win.
Yes. And this is what, like, the principle I try to live my life by, especially recently, I've really been trying to hold myself to this, is neutrality. Like, to stay neutral on things. And I think that you and I did a really good thing of, like, we both stayed pretty neutral, even though that was a really weird night.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, whoa, that was weird. Okay. Like, people went and essentially, I don't want to say they attacked you, but that was kind of the vibe. And I was like, oh, and then was like, I don't know. It was weird. But all that to say, you and I both stayed neutral throughout the whole process. And now here we are.
Yes, because I think it is so important to give people, unless there is evidence in your face that they meant to hurt you, then sure. But I think it's so important, with any of the hot topics, just give the person a chance to speak. Otherwise, you might miss out on amazing relationships, friendships, work opportunities. And I think my mentality has become recently that if I can't have an adult conversation with someone and say, hey, I said this, you interpreted it this way, I want you to know this is what I meant. I never meant to hurt you. Then that I probably can't have that person in my life if they can't hear me out, because I will just be constantly like hurt by the fact that me being myself hurts them and I didn't want it to, but I don't get the opportunity to explain myself. So I just think what you did for me that night was so valuable, because I did feel the internet people don't usually get to me, but I'll tell you that night did, because I felt you, who I do adore so far and did at that point.
Sure.
Now it looks like I'm bullying someone who I actually adore, and that did hurt. So I really am thankful for the way you handled it.
Thank you. And it's so hard. I love that you admitted that you watched the clips, like the live clips about, because I'm sure that people who were there clipped it and posted it. Like, because it was crazy. It was wild.
And I didn't look
But,
for it. I need you to know. It was
course.
coming up on my
Okay.
feed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am going to watch this entire thing through.
Sure, of course.
It was like, I'm flipping through and I see you. So I'm always like, I do usually watch your stuff no matter what. But then the best part is I'm flipping through, it's you. So I'm like, oh, Kendra. And then it's like, why are you letting Tiff interview you? I'm like, so I just sat there and watched it. But here we are. I appreciate it.
Here we are. Exactly. And you and I chat quite a bit. Like, pretty often we stay in touch and send voice notes or send little messages on Instagram, and it's nice.
I do appreciate you. And I will just to, I guess, circle back. I do think that your followers had good intentions for you, which is really special. Not everyone has that. So I think that's really valuable.
Yeah. And they are like the subscribers back then and now still, especially, like, it's just a really beautiful community. And I'm just grateful that you're a part of my community, Tiff.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that, like, so I try to live my life by the 4 agreements, which, you know, be impeccable with your word, always do your best, never make assumptions, and don't take things personally. Right? And the last one is very hard, but if anything, this whole situation has taught me it's just not worth it to take things personally, because I think that you just said that like, I don't think the subscribers back then, like, I don't think that they meant it personally, even though it probably felt pretty personal. And I'm glad that we were able to move through it.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I could have been anyone. If my posts were the same thing would have happened. It wasn't about me. It was about the interpretation of what I put up.
Yeah.
Did you want to dive into the questions?
Sure, let's do it.
I got to do some scrolling. So we had decided back at that point, we were just going to do like a fun, let's get to know Kendra outside of this situation.
Yeah.
And I have our messages there. If I'm missing a message and there's something you want to pass on, please just say pass.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
No pressure whatsoever. Okay. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yay!
Okay.
And then let's go until 9:00 your time. And yeah.
Totally fine. Let's do it. Okay. So, one of the questions I had posed was related to your dating life. I don't know if you discussed this very thoroughly, but I said, what would you repeat / what would you change in your past dating life? And what advice would you give, if anything, to young teens who are just beginning to date?
I think I gave men too many chances. Like, and at the same time, I don't know if I would go back and change it, because I learned lessons from those relationships. JJ's saying we're sipping tea right now. But yeah, I would say that that's like what I could change. And I guess that that's the advice that I would give to young women, especially, is like, so often I think in our society, we're taught to give men the benefit of the doubt. Are you married?
Hell no. No, I relate so much. I gave too many chances and I'm still single. I wasted really good years.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, I actually haven't ever lived with a romantic partner.
Okay.
And I don't intend to, unless I get married. And I just see like a lot of my friends who live with their boyfriends for like 5, 6, 7 years, and then they end up breaking up, and it's like, ugh. Yeah. So luckily, like, I've been very blessed in that sense where I think my longest relationship has been 2 years. And so I haven't necessarily like, I don't view it as like a long stretch of time lost. How old are you, Tiff?
I'm 33 and I've had I started dating like a high school sweetheart when I was 15. So I've had chunks of very serious relationships up until not that long ago. So
Wow.
like
So you're
3
like
years
single for the
ago.
first time in a long time.
Well, not exactly because the one relationship was off and on tremendously, and it got to a point where I blatantly told him if I'm going to date now. So I was dating and then he'd come back and I'd be so excited. I would love to be married, but I certainly should have I should have left a handful, probably all of them much sooner. You know, one of
Sure.
them was like 4 years, and I think the last 3.5 years he said I love you like once. You know, like
Wow.
it was very evident that it wasn't a good, and I just kept giving the benefit of the doubt. And
Yeah. Yeah. I think that women like will stay with men who hate us.
oh yeah, he hated my guts.
Yeah.
He certainly hated my
Like,
guts, Kendra. It's so embarrassing.
yeah. No, I think that that's real. I'm pretty sure my last boyfriend hated me. And it wasn't until I broke up with him that he was like, oh, wait, maybe she did add stuff to my life. How
Oh,
do I
for
get that
sure.
back? Right? Like, but I let's see. It's so some of the subs are people love that you said hell nah.
Don't get me wrong, I want to be, but I'm really not close to it at the moment.
Right. I mean, and like, what does it even mean to be like, what is a timeline? All of our timelines are our own. And I think the 30s are just such a special time for women where we learn a lot and grow a lot and become ourselves and learn to not self-sacrifice. So I view it as a gift
Yeah.
to be able to be alone and be successful and like turn into the person that I'm meant to be to meet my person. And then Megan says, keep your peace, ladies. And exactly like my life, you know, despite like the crazy trauma that happened, my life is pretty peaceful. I live a pretty good life.
That's amazing. That's all
Um,
you can ask for. To say with confidence that you live a peaceful life and that you generally enjoy your life, not everyone can say that, you know?
well, and that's what I think is a lot of the projection that are going on with people is like
Fair point.
and I saw this great TikTok and it was like everyone says that they want authenticity, but then they meet an authentic person and they hate their guts.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And like I think that that might have been what happened with the TikToks that people saw of you. It was just you being authentically you.
Right.
And
I'm a little like I've said that I'm not all that digestible to everybody. Like I'm quite awkward. Sometimes my jokes don't always land. But I love people. I want people, even if I don't agree with a word that comes out of your mouth, I want you to live a happy, healthy, beautiful life.
mhm,
Never, not saying I don't get pissed. I do get, but generally I just want people to find their place and be loved,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Not to sound like, an angel on earth or anything. But
No, it's a good thing to do. And that's the thing too. And it's part of why I had to stop telling my stories because the narrative became I'm trying to ruin someone's life instead of like I'm trying to educate on what professional boundary violations look like, right? Like, so that's why I had to stop, is because that was not the point of me telling my story. It just turned into that. And it once again, I can't change what it turned into, but I just had to pivot and act accordingly, because that isn't ever my goal is to harm someone. My goal was to understand myself. And I think I continue with that today. And I also, like, people got mad that I was blocking and blessing so much. Like JJ said, I love to block and bless, but really it was just to protect my own peace. I'm like, okay,
I don't think you should ever feel badly about that. That is just being mindful of what you're allowing. I mean, the first comment I got on here when I went live was something about my big ass forehead. I was like, oh, block. Not because it's not like it's a devastating comment. It's just, I know I'm not going to get anything positive from you, so why allow it? That's all. It's not a big deal, I don't think.
Right.
Right? No. You have to protect your peace, and that is something that I really adore about the 30s decade, because setting those boundaries, for me at least, it's coming so much easier. It's not perfected, but
exactly. It's like something about hitting 30. And I think that this is why Men Who Hate Women, great book, by the way, if anybody ever like is interested in the book, like it's a crazy book. Men Who Hate Women. I learned so much about the men's rights activist movement. Yeah. And so all that to say, like, they dog on and clown on us 30-something-year-old single women because we're powerful, because we're learning what we want and what we won't tolerate. And I dated, when I was like 23, I dated a 40-year-old. When I was 27, I dated a 40-year-old. Like, and I thought that I was just so cool and so mature. And now at the age of 36, I meet a 24-year-old and they seem so young. And I'm like, I look back at these men that I dated and I'm like, no, I wasn't cool and mature. They were just losers. Like, that's...
And you didn't feel very respected by them or cherished or protected or anything. It was just they were taking advantage of maybe you were more...
I mean... I was very drunk at that time of my life, from like 24 to 31. You know, that was really what our relationship was based about. Like, one was a chef at he owned a really successful food cart in Portland. So that was my 24-year-old, 40-year-old relationship. And so he would just make me amazing food, and then we'd go and get like blitzed at the bar. And then the second guy, who was older, he was a bartender and a bar owner. So same thing, you know, I don't really remember.
Okay. No, I can also relate to that as well, without going super into detail because of certain reasons, but
sure.
I absolutely relate to that as well. And something that I realize is if you have to be obliterated to hang out with a certain group, not saying that we should not be taking responsibility, but that group also just might not be for us.
Oh, that's been one of the best parts of sobriety, is I no longer hang out with people that I don't like.
Yeah, that you can't talk to sober.
Exactly. It's great.
Yeah.
And dating sober is great too. Because I don't meet for drinks anymore. So even like a drink or two kind of loosens me up, or anyone up. Fair. And like, so now when I date, I meet someone's authentic self, as much as a first date authentic self can be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I relate to you a lot. I've been in situations where I was on date number 1, date number 2, date number 3, and every time I got dropped off home, I'm like, tipsy, like borderline drunk.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I realized the one time I specifically said, "Can we go for a hike?" Because I wanted to know, can we laugh together sober? Can
I love
we
it.
just vibe together sober? You know, even make eye contact sober. We get to the hiking spot. He pulls out not one, two bottles of wine on a hike. Two. So, I mean, again, I had very little self control at the time. So,
Sure.
you know,
Oh, I've drank a bottle of wine on a hike. And then on the hike back, I fell into water, like a whole bottle. There were three of us and we each drank a bottle. And it was rosé, and I was like, it was amazing.
The
But
sugar gets to you and the heat gets
oh,
to you.
and I was in the water. So what happened is we went across like the tide rose, and we like this little like brook that like a babbling brook that we walked across turned into waist deep water. And so I like had my phone in my purse, and I like kind of fell over because it's waist deep water,
Right.
trying to wade through. And I completely like waterlogged my phone, and I was on vacation in San Francisco at the time, and I didn't have a phone. It was a nightmare. So anyway, I get that. So the fact that you wanted, the whole point of you going on this date was to like see if you vibed sober, and he brought two bottles of wine.
And that should have been like that was the last date, but I remember him pulling them out and me being like, okay, so he can either we just don't mesh well together, or he cannot open up and have these conversations sober. And now
Right.
I'm just a little bit more with it to recognize things like that. And I tell my friends the same thing. Okay, you've been dating this guy, it's been 10 dates. Have you ever been sober on one of them? If you haven't, it's going to be very difficult to grow old with that person.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, this is why I'm so grateful. Okay. What's the next question?
Okay, so I have a whole list here. So if you ever want to do a part 2 of this, you please let me know.
Yeah. I have a few more minutes left. I just want to like take time after we're done and like turn off sub only chat and chat with
Totally
people.
Don't,
But yeah, so keep going.
Okay.
I'll let you know when I'm ready to leave.
Okay, let's see. Oh, well, okay. One of them was, how does ADD manifest in you? Is there anything unique that you're like, well, my type is this, or it shows my symptoms are this? Anything that's unique?
Wait, unique to me in what way?
So, for example, I'm going to be vulnerable for a second. My belief is that my ADD makes me quick to anger
Oh, yeah.
because I'm overstimulated all the time or often.
Sure.
Something that
Sure.
people wouldn't normally expect, but we can also pass if you want to think
Oh
about
no,
it.
that's fine. So that's I call that, and kind of it's something that I've looked a lot into because that used to be me. It's called amygdala hijack. So our amygdala is like our alarm system in our brain. And in ADHDers, our prefrontal cortex, which keeps our brain chill, is underactive, and our amygdala is overactive. So it's literally how our brain is wired, that like when we feel things deeply. And this is where cognitive behavioral therapy, I need to come up with a new word for it because it's essentially just like a journaling prompt, but like being aware of my feelings, being aware of the thoughts that were coming in, like CBT changed my life and changed amygdala hijack. And they've actually done studies that show that cognitive behavioral therapy helps with ADHD symptoms. So I just want to let you know, Tiff, like you are not alone. And that used to be a huge problem. Like literal alarm bells would go off. I'd get so angry over small things.
Yeah, I'm much better now,
Sure.
but I couldn't say that's behind me. That would be a lie. Much
Yeah.
better now,
Okay.
but
Yeah. And I used to like explode at anyone that was around me, and it was not cute. But yeah, I would say, um, my ADHD symptoms make me creative and give me my favorite thing about my ADHD symptoms is my pattern recognition skills and being able to put things together and like see beneath the surface of things.
Do you have an example? Pattern
I
recognition.
told a 40-part series on
That's very fair. No, that's very fair. I wasn't sure when you said pattern recognition, you meant interpersonal with other people, or if you meant in a creative sense, it helps you artistically create.
I think it's with interpersonal relationships, but
Okay.
also creativity. And I also can't believe that I wrote a book. Like I'm
Yeah,
excited for the book to come out.
that's an amazing
Um,
thing. You should be so
yeah,
proud. I'm very proud of you.
thank you.
Welcome.
But real quick, I just want to tell you that Sass said birth of a podcast happening. We'll have to come back. I know.
I'm
I know. I'm
beyond
like, okay,
flattered,
Sass.
Sal.
Brooklyn, welcome. Hi.
I really
And
appreciate
then
it.
JJ actually really liked that question about who is like what ADHD trait makes
How
me
it
unique. So that's
manifests.
good. Yeah, how it manifests. That's really good.
It's not the same for everyone.
No,
We could go on, but it's not that it's, I think that's why it's hard to identify and people go undiagnosed for so long because it's not copy and paste for everyone.
totally.
Um, what were you like in high school?
A theater kid.
Oh, you were. Can you sing and
Yeah.
dance and all that?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've actually heard you break
I
out into
loved being
song.
in musicals. Um, my favorite musical that I was in, it was called Zombie Prom, and it was like an off-Broadway musical. It was so cool that we did it. So it's about like set in the 1950s, and the main character is a rebel, and his name is Johnny, and his girlfriend breaks up with him because he's too much of a rebel, and so he unalives himself by putting himself into a vat of nuclear waste, and he comes back as a zombie, and all he wants to do is take his girlfriend to prom. And so like the makeup effects for him were so cool, and I was Miss Strict, the principal. So that was like really maybe a little typecasting there because I'm so tall. But
I
that
love
was so
that.
fun. Like it was definitely one of the main things. Yeah. Oh, I love to sing. And so people are like, I'm trying to hear a sample. I would love to, but for whatever reason, like when I was teaching yoga this morning, I got dinged for oming. And TikTok was like, you cannot sing on your live.
What?
So I know, isn't that weird? So many people sing, and even like I joined a creator agency, and even the guy was like, I have people sing on lives all the time. I'm like, I know. So I owned this morning and got in trouble, so I can't sample Zombie Prom, but you can go on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere really and listen to the music. It's an awesome musical. So Zombie Prom. And
That
I
sounds
also,
awesome.
but I had like friends in every group, and Mara and I were kind of talking about this. And like a friend of mine, and how it was like being a floater of like having different friend groups and going throughout all of them. So that was kind of me too, is I would float.
Did you keep in touch with any of your high school friends? Are any of them besties to this day?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
see, that's
Many
so
of
cool.
them. Yeah, I have. So My best friend from middle, high school, and college, he moved to France when we graduated and from college, and he's been there since, but we still talk all the time. So he's still a very good friend of mine. I was actually just in France visiting him. And then another friend of mine, we grew up across the street from each other. We're 2 days apart. She's the emergency medicine bestie.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're 2 days apart, and we were close in high school. She was a big time jock. So like she got me in with like the jocks, and we're still really close too. And then I have other friends. What's up?
Did you visit her recently?
So she lives here in my city. The one that I visited is the one that's in France.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I feel blessed for the friendships that I have. And then I have, other friends in my life, like that I still see often too. But yeah. Yeah.
And you've made so many friends on your platform now, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like
Like
Sass
genuine
and
friends.
yes, like genuine friends, Ricky. I'm just so grateful. Energy Witch. And Brooklyn, it says, oh my God, I'm finally a super fan. Yes, Brooklyn. Let's go. Oh, yes.
I'm familiar with some of the names. I would love to meet you guys. I definitely know Sass.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, we're good.
Do you want to do one more, or you want to head out?
Yeah. Let's keep going. I can do one more.
Okay.
Maybe even two. We'll see how I feel after the one.
Okay. Oh, what life do you picture / aspire to have in 5 years from now? You can snap your fingers and have whatever you want. What is it? Paint us a picture, Kendra.
Living by the ocean
Okay.
with an even more successful coaching practice that I have now, a big group running, and a family around me.
What does your family look like? Is it husband and 8 kids? Is it, because I know you've said a million times you are strictly tickly. So that's why I'm saying
Yeah, I know. I'm straight. Yeah, it'd be a husband and just one child.
1 kid. Okay. What does your house look like? Do you like larger houses, cozier cottage type houses? Do you
It's
picture
the house
that?
with lots of light that I can practice yoga in
Okay.
and have an office in, and yeah, that's just the most important thing to me. Like maybe have a nice yoga studio.
Any pets?
I don't know. It's interesting because I've had pets before and I've liked it. And I just got done with dog sitting for 3 weeks, and that was wonderful. And I kind of did miss having a dog with me when I got home. But if a pet is meant to enter into my life, I'm open to it, but not in my vision. I don't see that.
Okay. And for the child, what is the kid like? Are they big into sports? Are they in theater? Are they homeschooled? Are they public schooled? Are they the popular kid? Are they, I don't know.
They're happy. They're happy.
Fair enough.
That's
Fair
really all I
enough.
care about. Yeah. And even like I'm also talked a lot about this too. Like I trust that if a soul is meant to come in through me, it'll happen. And people were asking me like if I ever thought about freezing my eggs. And my answer to that was like, yes, I've thought about it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Like, I just have to trust, because I have friends that have babies 39, 40, 41, even 42. So I'm like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
So it's not a major concern regarding freezing them tomorrow.
Yeah. Because
I'm
really, That's the biggest, like, I love my life now. I love being a coach. I love teaching yoga. And so really it's just about doing more of that.
Yeah, that totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
That's
And I
the
could see
biggest
you doing
thing.
that. I think
Yeah.
I think that you have such a bright future ahead. And all of this is going to result in a brighter future that you probably couldn't have even imagined 6 months ago.
Yeah. 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 Let's do one more.
Do you want to touch on dating or relationships again, or you want to skip those?
Sure. If that's what you're feeling called to ask me.
Things, um, things you wish you hadn't done in relationships in the past, aside from giving them too much
Yeah,
time.
I think I already answered that. Let's ask another question.
Okay. I have a lot of dating stuff on here, I guess. Deal breakers, boundaries, standards, and dating.
I talked about this in a live a couple days ago, but like, or a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago. That no, it's fine. I'll answer it again. I think the biggest like a thing that I've realized is that like I don't give men who cancel the first date a second date. Because every time that I've done that, or like a second chance, every time that I've done that, it just has not worked out and it's been a waste of my time. So I stopped. That's a big thing in early dating.
I think that's very smart, by the way.
Yeah. So that's my biggest boundary around that. But honestly, right now I've stopped. I haven't been on like dating apps in months. So I think that as long as the man is respectful, I think that that's my biggest thing is to come with respect and for friends too.
So there's not like a specific pet peeve that you're like, I just can't do this. No matter what, if I see this or hear this, we're not doing it.
Well, I don't want to do that because then I'll call it in. Like,
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think of my dad who, like, my dad apparently spent, like, his life saying he wouldn't go on a blind date, he wouldn't date a Catholic, and he wouldn't date a smoker. And then he went on a blind date with a smoking Catholic who was my mom.
I never
You
thought of
know,
it like that.
and so, like, I'm hesitant to say, like, I do not want this
Okay.
because I am afraid I'll call it in.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought of it like that, but that does make sense, especially you have that example with your parents. So I don't. I
Yeah. And it's funny too because like my mom quit smoking cigarettes and she converted to Presbyterianism and I was raised Presbyterian, but now I'm feeling, especially after coming back from Europe, I've actually gone to Catholic Mass a few times because like, because
Okay.
Catholicism, it's just so witchy. And like, and a big part of my matrilineal line is Irish Catholic. So like a lot of my ancestors were Catholic. And so being in the Catholic Church, I'm like, oh, this just feels right. So it's interesting that even me, like even though he got my mom to convert, I'm like, you know what? I might be Catholic now.
That is so interesting. I really love that for you. You have to keep me posted with that. I'm like really diving deep into the Bible lately in like an exploratory sense. Everybody believe what you want to believe, but I would never try to steer. But if you ever want to talk about it, I'm deep in the Bible lately.
I love it. It's a hyper focus.
It is. I have my highlighters.
I love it.
All the things.
Okay, let's do one more question and then we'll wrap it up.
Ooh, all right. Let's see. Let me just open my phone back up. Okay. This one's a little bit deeper. And
Okay.
I'm sorry, because I know that you probably talk about a lot of this stuff because you go live, but Just let me know if you want to pass. It says, what do you think of the theory that ADD symptoms often develop from or can develop from trauma?
I think it's real.
Very
I mean, I
real.
think it's both, right? Like some ADHD symptoms can develop from trauma, and I think it is genetic. But the reality is like trauma is genetic too. Trauma's passed down from generation to generation, unless the parents do work to heal their trauma. So, yes, and both.
Okay. I totally understand that. I have to say that I think one of the good things about social media is that many of us are more open-minded and more educated about breaking generational trauma because we're more aware that, like, wait a minute, you're saying what I grew up with is not normal. Like, you didn't go through that.
Right.
But without things like social media, these discussions don't happen in this fashion. You might not ever find out that what you went through wasn't normal.
Right.
So that is one benefit that I do appreciate about social media. Kendra, thank you so much.
This was so fun. Yes.
I really appreciate
I'm so
it.
grateful that we got to chat, and yeah, we can do it again.
I would love to. You just let me know when you have the time. I can think of some more questions. We can discuss them so that I'm not overlapping and doubling up on the questions you've already talked about in your lives.
Oh, I don't mind. People often ask me the same questions, and even though the clippers are going to clip, still I don't mind talking about things more than once. Like I was just telling Sass that I like talking about Botox on my lives for whatever reason. So yeah, that's a recurring theme, and yeah. And like beauty standards for women, and yeah. So okay, well, thanks, Tiff. Oh yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna see.
For your time.
Yes. How do we disconnect? Do we have to end the live totally?
I don't mind just ending it and then we can log back on.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, Kendra. Have a good night. Bye everybody. Talk to you soon.
Okay, there we go. Let me turn on. Are you ready, Sass? Let me see. Maybe. Let me see. Bring it. I don't know if I can turn on and off sub-only chats now. It's so freaking weird with the fan club. I might have to end it and come back. No, please. Tiff was really so nice. And it's just interesting. Like I said, I'm grateful for people who feel protective for me. But yeah, okay. Something about me is I got my COVID shot and my flu shot today. So that's cool. The COVID arm's already feeling kind of rough. I'm like, ooh, kind of feels like I got hit with a hammer. Let me see if I can figure out how to, but everyone should get their vaccines. Vax Queen, that's right. I've gotten every single COVID booster I possibly can. I'm like, especially working retail for the height of the pandemic, who wouldn't want to get a vaccine? It's nice, it's good. Okay, let's see here. I have another thing to say. Well, I don't like the super fan. Can I complain about that? Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Welcome to my live.
Let's see.
Because I accidentally hit the toggle. I'm going to show you how to get out of that. Hit the service button in your live. Go ahead,
Service
hit that
button.
There you go. Now you're in service.
Service button. Well, to my non-super fans, you know, I want you to be able to comment, but I don't really know how.
Once you're here, hit super fan. Now continue. Now.
I know.
Then club only. Guys, were you not able to?
But yeah, the soap community, Talia, I'm still laughing at the soap community. That was pretty funny. Well, I guess I can end the live too and come back. Fun times were not had. What? Yeah, like getting the vaccine. The flu one hurt a little bit, but the COVID one felt like nothing. And there have been some COVID shots where it's like, oh, that was so painful. But this one, it felt like nothing. I'm like, oh, my arm's going to be sore later. Yeah, it is. Might take some ibuprofen. Let me see. Oh, hold on, you guys. You know what? I'll be right there. My neighbor wants to hang out, so. What's up?
When you get time.
Okay, I'll be right there. Let me go hang out with my neighbor for a little bit, and then I'll come back on live, and we'll hang out with the chat on. I'll see you guys in 10. Let me go hang out with my neighbor for a little bit, and then I'll come back on live, and we'll hang out with the chat on. I'll see you guys in 10.